the humble conclusion that all I did was run with a piece of leather. That's right, for a few miles. And it took me 12 years to do it, right? When you look at it in proper perspective, just not that special. Guys, we're at a sports banquet tonight, and we love sports. You do, don't we?
Yeah.
My purpose is not to belittle sports. My purpose is to say this: I know who I am. And who I am is not some guy who ran with a piece of leather for a few miles. Who I am is the husband of Diane. That's my bride. We've been together for 29 years this summer, right? We'll be married for 21 years on June 7th, and I live to serve her. I want to let you know, fellas, I quite enjoy it too, because she's a hottie. Saying like this, number one, what I want to do in our few short minutes here is, my theme is finding that sweet spot. When I say sweet, would you say spot? Ready? Sweet spot! Sweet spot! Sweet spot! This time with a little bit more passion. Here we go. I say sweet spot! Sweet spot! Sweet spot! Sweet spot! In our few short minutes is to find that sweet spot. And the first thing is to know what or who is driving you. For me, I'm the husband of Diane, and I'm the father of Rachel, Raven, and Riley. Before I pick up a football, catch a football, run with one, that's who I am. If I never ran with a football, that's who I am, right? And so the very first thing I want us to sort of take a look at is just us personally, right? Know who you are, guys. Have balance. Why is that? Because that's the integrity part of it. That's what's going to carry you through. That's the one thing you never want to compromise, is your own integrity, okay? Know who you are. Nobody else can define that for you. Only you can define that. Only you can define what's most important to you. For me, I'm the husband of Diane and the father of Rachel, Raven, and Riley. Very simple. But for you, you have to define that. After that, I want to ask you to do it in HD. All right, here we go. Ready? When I say clap, you clap. Ready? Clap. Clap. I'm going to ask you to do this thing in HD. I'll let you know what that means in a minute, but I'm going to tell you this little short story, then we'll talk about what HD means, and I'll be quiet, okay? So I got a chance to meet this little guy working with the Children's Miracle Network. Can everybody hear me still? Are we okay? Okay. I got, yes sir. So, in saying that, there's a little guy that I got a chance to meet when I was the spokesperson for the Children's Miracle Network. If you don't know who the Children's Miracle Network is, they raise money for youth hospitals across North America. At some point in your life, you've probably seen a telethon that's hosted by Donnie and Marie Osmond. Happens every June and is down in Disney World. Well, I got a chance to be the honorary spokesperson, and there's one child that represents each state of the United States. And they all go down to Washington, D.C. and meet at the Capitol. Then everyone meets down in Disney World. Our kids, of course, meet in Ottawa. One child that represents each province in Canada. And then we meet in Ottawa and then go on and meet all the rest of the kids in Disney World. Well, I arrived in Ottawa, and I'm so excited to meet all these kids. Now these are young people who have serious illnesses or have been in serious accidents. And most of them have been in the hospital for most of their lives. And when I arrived, I was excited because these young people really do illustrate what it means to overcome adversity. We talk about adversity a lot of times, right? But we're scared of a needle. And they have to take needles a few times a day just to sustain themselves. I was really excited to meet these young people because I was looking forward to being inspired myself. And as I got ready to go in the room, it was a room like this. We came to the hotel and went up and threw my things down and went down to meet the kids. And they said, before you go in, we've got Sean's parents want to meet you. And so the little boy's name was Sean, and they said, the reason we want to meet you is because our son Sean is in a wheelchair, and he can't walk or talk. He's the only child that's in a wheelchair. And what we're going to ask you, the reason we wanted to talk to you, is we wanted to ask you to treat him just like any other 15-year-old boy. That's why he's been able to inspire people, because we treat him just like anybody else. Now, I had no idea how I was going to do this, but I'm the honorary spokesperson. My job is to say yes, right? We'll figure out the details later. So I said yes, and then they said, well, a few more things we want to let you know before you go inside. One is that football is his favorite sport. They said not only that, the Toronto Argonauts are his favorite team. This is a little boy from Nova Scotia, right? And they said not only that, though, pinball is his favorite player. So when he sees you, he's going to be awfully excited. Guys, I'll never forget when I walked in that room. When I finally saw him, I was meeting all the families and all the kids, and I finally saw him, and when I saw him, his right leg was crossed over his left because his right leg moves uncontrollably, and his arms were crossed in his lap, and when he saw me, his face just lit up, and his legs went to the other side, and his arms went in the air, and he said, ah, 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 ah. And at that point, I did exactly what his parents asked me not to do. How could I not feel sorry for a little boy who all he wants to do is say hi, and he can't do that? He's shy. How can you not feel sorry for a little boy? All he wants to do is say hi, and he can't do that. Well, that was my first mistake, because the more I got to know him, the less sorry I felt for him, and the more inspired I felt by him. This little boy who's in a wheelchair, can't walk or talk, goes to regular high school. One of the best students in the entire school. They have a little device that they hook to his head, and he's able to move his neck, and that's how he communicates. Got no use of his hands, no use of his leg. He communicates through this little device that's hooked to his head, right? Hooked to his neck, and that's how he can, one of the best students in the entire school. He gave us a display of that. When we took the tour of Ottawa, the first question the tour guide asked, somebody blurted the answer out to. The second question, nobody knew the answer to. So Sean had the opportunity, he had the time, to spell it out on his board. Sean got the question right. It was like everybody clued in at the same time. Now everybody was going to wait to see if Sean would get the question right. 2 hours.